Stick a hook between the nostrils and pull. We're talking about cult leaders in the horse world.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Hey guys, Nolan here. Today, we're back talking about bullies in the horse world and how you can spot them and avoid them at all costs. And guess who the lucky one is today? Yup, you guessed it, the cult leader.
But before we do that, I just want to do a quick shout out to all the new subscribers who have decided to join the Little Cruiser Guild. Hello, and welcome to our corner of the horse world, where we talk about all the fun things that make this horse world go round. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, the button's down below, you know what to do, but if you don't know what to do, make it simple for you. Hit the button, hit the bell.
So in a previous video, we spoke about all the different types of bullies that we encounter in the horse world, and bloody hell is there quite the list. If you haven't seen that video, you should definitely give it a check out. I'll link to it up there as well as down below in the description for you mobile users. In that video, we briefly went over what the cult leader is, how you're expected to deal with them when you encounter them, and yes, they are a bully, and yes, they are real. But today we're doing a deep dive into the mindset of this horrible type, how they act, so that we can learn what they are, so we can steer clear of them and their vile ways. So first thing, what is the cult leader? The cult leader is the one who preys on the ignorant. But wait, isn't that like the majority of the horse world? Haha, not funny. Well, it's kind of sad and true. The cult leader takes it a step further and builds a community where they can hold a kind of court, gather followers, and inevitably brainwash.
I have not been brainwashed. Kill the girl.
But now...
Oh, I hear you. It sounds like something out of a fiction book or something out of a history novel or something, like Jonestown.
Excuse me, I've got to go mix the punch.
But trust me, this is real. It actually happens. I've been a victim of it, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. So let's talk about the actual leader. What kind of people are they? The cult leader is usually a very loud personality, in your face, and believe the loudest is rightest. Come on, you know the type. If you disagree with them, you're pretty much the devil himself trying to wreak havoc on their sanctuary. They usually will never try and play the victim. No, you're the victim. And they're going to do everything in their power to make sure you know it.
You'll also notice that a lot of these cult leaders in the horse world like people who are below them all times. Knowledge, everything, as long as it's lower than what they know. You'll notice that people who have these kind of barns, that you don't see a lot of people who know a lot in there. Well, and anybody who knows something won't last at that barn very long. Whether it's the boarder's decision or it's the owner's decision, that boarder is gone. Equine might make that owner look bad.
Haven't any of you ever been in a cult before?
That's why the owner likes to keep everything under their wing.
Now, the weird thing about these horse cult leaders, they don't really know that much about horses. They don't know how to deal with a lot of horses, how they're going to train them, how you're supposed to do it. But every chance they have, they're going to hold court and press upon the new followers that they know what they're talking about. But their scary demeanor forces people to listen to them and cow-tail. And what would a cult be without followers?
I'm a member.
The followers are the ones that really build the cult up. The followers are exactly that, followers. They can't lead if their lives depended on it. And I can sympathize with that. Some people are born to be leaders, some people are born to be followers. But putting these two together in this situation takes it to an extreme. These followers have no mind of their own and will follow aimlessly. Pin this to the horse world where everyone's trying to prove to everybody else that they know what they're doing. And we've now have a bunch of followers desperate to follow somebody just so they can say they are on the right path. I mean, I think everybody can respect that mentality. We've all been there. I mean, see it through their eyes. Think about struggling with your horse on something like having a horse that can't be mounted, or a tongue issue, or can't be broke. And all you want is to fix it, so you look for an answer in the deepest corners of any type of situation. Looking for any answer possible. That's where these followers are at. They're so desperate for the correct path that they fall victim to somebody with a huge ego and can bully people into believing they're the answer because they're essentially scary. The best part is when the clientele takes what the cult leader is saying and their beliefs and try to push their beliefs onto people who don't believe. It's kind of like the blind leading the blind.
Hey, mice, pass me a buffalo wing. No, to your left. Your left!
So what makes them turn into something like that? Maybe in the past they were put down, and this is why they get so upset when you disagree with them. Maybe nobody ever looked up to them, and by being a leader, they now have people doing just that. By being able to dictate and manipulate those below them, they feel they have a sense of self-worth. They aren't at the bottom anymore. Hey, you liking this video so far? You definitely should hit the like button. I know it sounds like something small, but it goes a really long way.
But not all people are going to follow aimlessly. People have brains and can gather information better than ever before. So what happens when you start to question? Just like a cult, you're targeted. It's a horrible feeling, trust me, I've been on the receiving end. When you are a part of a group and become friends with them, you've got their back and you believe they have yours. And when the leader puts that target on your back, he's able to turn everybody against you. Those people you thought had your back, they don't. Now they're looking for a place to place the knife. They're going to find ways to make you miserable. They're going to set you up to the point where you break down.
Hey guys, I just want to quickly jump in here, which is something I completely forgot to add in. Some of the people you thought had your back are going to completely turn right against you. While there's going to be other ones that their moral compass kind of bounces side to side. It can't figure out where to go. So they'll say things like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but I still want to have a job at the end of this. Or, I don't want to get on the leader's bad side, or she scares me a bit too much to get involved, I'm sorry. You'll have some people who just don't want to get involved at all, which you completely kind of understand that. Unfortunately, the funny part about those people who don't want to get involved is sooner or later they do get involved, because sooner or later, they're the ones going to get targeted. And then they're going to realize, oh, this is what it feels like.
Quite a few years ago, I was in a boarding facility like this. I was there for 3 years. First year was great, but I wasn't really seeing things clearly. I wasn't there a lot. I was working a lot, and I would just run to the barn, do my ride, and pretty much leave. I didn't really hook up with a lot of people or become friendly with them. I just kind of came in, did my thing, left. In that first year, I didn't really notice the turnover in staff, and especially the turnover in boarders. So by the time the second year came, I had started to open my eyes just a bit. I was there a bit more often. I wasn't working nearly as much. Weird things would start to happen. In a previous video, which I'll link to up there as well as down below, we spoke about the birds on the fence and how karma came and bit one of them on the ass. Definitely should give it a check out when you get a chance. The owner of this barn is that bird. At the point of this was all happening, I was looking for a new coach. Pretty much daily, this owner of the barn would come up to me and say that I should be riding with her. That she could, in her words, show me a thing or two. Here's the funny thing about this barn owner. I'm not saying I know a lot, and I have all this fountain of answers. I don't. What I will say is I did know more than this woman. Let me also say, it doesn't take much to know more than this woman. That is important to the story, so just remember that, guys. When she came and suggested to me how I should be riding with her countlessly, politely, you decline, but that ain't happening. So in that time, I'm looking for a new coach. I called up how many different people? People who traveled in the area, who are out of area, but wondering if they could come, even just slot me in once a month or once every 2 months, something. This is how the conversation went. I was wondering if you could come out and help me out. That sounds great. I can definitely fit you out. Where's your area that you're riding? I ride in this part of town. Oh yes, that's fine. I go past there all the time, yada yada. I can fit you in completely. Don't worry. That's fantastic. I'm looking so forward to it. What barn do you ride at again? I ride at this barn. Nope, sorry, not happening. I'm not lying. I spoke to how many different people, how many different coaches. Once I said I was at that barn, all bets were off. So now we've gotten to the point in the second year as this is going on that my eyes are starting to open up just a bit more. By the beginning of the third year, I started to notice little things like how unhappy the staff was, how unhappy the boarders were, how much turnover was going on with the boarding situation. And because I was there even more, I started to see a bit more going on. But the final nail in the coffin was hottest day of the year. Pretty much a lot of people had canceled, deciding not to come to the barn. Staff had come in early so they could get all the work done in the cooler weather and then left early too. I had been working. I'm not coming to ride my horse, but I am coming to go graze him, hose him down, do that fun stuff. As I went to use the washroom, I noticed that the arena doors were closed. Now, the arena does have windows and all that, so you can see in, but the door was closed, so I thought that was a little weird. There was one of the staff members standing outside the arena door, watching it, maybe guarding it. I went to ask them how they were doing, how they were dealing with the weather, blah, 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 and I noticed inside there was a horse going. Not really my business. Until I realized that the horse is pretty much white. It's a dark bay horse. The horse is pretty much white with lather. Then I get out of the staff member that they've been in there for 3 hours, and they were going to make the bitch learn, bitch being the horse, it's going to jump a Liverpool. So here's my thing. I get it. There are times with training, you gotta do what you gotta do, but you're smart about it, right? You don't decide to take him out on the hottest day and make this a thing. Now we're going to call the barn owner Karen. And then there's Karen on the ground chasing him with the lunch stick. There's, it's just not happening. They got so frustrated that they brought the horse in, heaving, threw it in the stall, and say, that piece of shit better just stay there for the rest of the day. Didn't hose it off, didn't walk him out, nothing. That was my point to say, time to go. So I didn't say anything that day. I just gave my guy a hose off, grazed him a bit, put him back in, went home. Next day, gave my notice. And that's when all hell broke loose.
Hey, have you hit the subscribe button yet? The button's just down there. You know what to do.
Because I didn't agree with the cult leader, which was pretty evident by me giving notice, the leader decided to make my life hell. B was left outside because they couldn't catch him. They should have been in and fed 3 hours ago. And he was still outside, screaming his head off, running like a banshee. And when I asked them, why is he still outside 3 hours later? I was told it was because he didn't want to come in, which is BS, because I know B, you just call his name, he's at that gate, he's one of the first ones who wants it. And then 2 days later, I took him for a hand walk, and he was losing his shit. Usually B was just a good walk next to your horse, and here he's doing this. Rearing, flying around, to the point where I put him into cross ties, and he's pretty much running back and forth in the cross ties. And then I asked one of the staff, who took him out? Was he like this? Blah, blah, blah. You know what every single staff member said?
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
And they turned and walk away. So while he's in the cross ties running back and forth, I take him off the cross ties just in hand, just came to whoa. And I have another one of the followers, Karen's right-hand woman, right behind him doing this.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Screaming at the top of her lungs, trying to rev it up. All that chaos. This person who is the cult leader's right-hand woman, I thought had my back. I listened to her cry and moan about how the cult leader treated her. Here she is stirring crap up for the cult leader? Are you kidding me? All those staff members that I thought had my back because we were friends. We went to the movies together. We went out for dinner. We did all that fun stuff. Every single one of them turned their back on me. There's my notice. All turned their back on me and tried to find a way to make my life a living hell there. Good old cult leaders with their cults. I lasted 5 days of trying to make this work. I could not last a full month. I got the hell out. I blamed myself for a long time for that happening. I'd never heard of it happening before, and as I said, it seemed so outlandish that it couldn't possibly be real. But it was. But the funny part was, after all that happened, I came across somebody who had moved out of that barn years before, and she asked me if I was still there. I obviously said no, and just hinted that it wasn't a good fit. And this is what they said. Was it because of this? Yeah, that did happen. And how about this, this, and this? Yeah, how did you know? Thinking, of course, that horse people have big mouths and they're spreading it like old people at tea time. But no, she said the same thing happened to her and the same thing happened to her coach. To this day, I have met 10 people personally that the same thing has happened to. And she asked me, how long do you think this has been going on? I'm thinking maybe 4 or 5 years. No, it's been going on for 35 freaking years. So yes, I have dealt with the cult leader. So with everything we have said over this video, we need to start thinking about how are we going to save ourselves this hell? What do we need to keep in the back of our minds when we are encountering people to think, is this a cult leader? Are they loud? Are they rude? Do they cover it up as passion for the sport? Do they have followers who parrot what they say? Does the leader get upset when you disagree with them? Keep an eye out for turnover in staff and boarders. Keep an eye out for the boarders that do move. Why are they moving? While they may not say exactly what the problem is, they probably say something like, I just need to get the hell out of here. Does the leader make you question their knowledge regarding horses when they teach? Does the leader's followers follow aimlessly as if they're brainwashed? If you've taken this whole list into account, the person in question hitting a lot of these points, you may have just stumbled into an equine cult. So what do you do when you realize you've come face to face with a cult leader? From personal experience, get the hell out, and do so without causing any fuss if you can. Because the moment the leader realizes you aren't happy with them, they'll target you and make your life miserable until you leave. So get out quietly and friendly. No burning of bridges, and that way your horse will still be safe. But if you can't, don't wait the full month and get the hell out. As I said, I didn't start screaming or throwing tantrums when I saw the horse being overworked. I just gave my notice the next day and moved on. But by me just seeing it was enough to send this leader over the edge. And sometimes that is enough. Just seeing something can cause the leader to go off. But remember, that says more about them than you. And that's pretty much all I have on the cult leader bully type that I have for you. If you're interested in more videos about bullying, I have a playlist. I'll link to it right up there, as well as down below. The playlist is a collection of all the videos I have on bullying and how they can help you. Keep an eye out for the different types out there.
And now we're in here for the rewards, the free stuff. I know, this is what everyone's really been waiting for, right? Down below, we have a coupon for Ride Verbatim's online course where you're going to learn everything from what certain terms mean to how you're going to apply them to your own riding and be successful. The link is down below. There's not much time left, so you better get on over there.
Now it's on to you. Have you dealt with an equine cult leader? If so, how did it go? How did it end? Let me know down below. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. As I said earlier, it's a little thing, but it goes a long way. And if you haven't already, why not hit the subscribe button and join the Little Cruiser Guild yourself. We have new videos up every week for your entertainment, but also to make the horse world make a bit more sense. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys today, alright? Thank you so much for watching. I'm Nolan M Cruz, and I will talk to you later. Ciao!